Hi, how are you? And thank you for joining us for Hire Me series. Welcome, Bonin, the founder and CEO of Prahsys. Thank you for joining us. Please let us know what Prahsys is all about. Tell us about the products and tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Maria. Uh, Bonin, founder and CEO of Prahsys. We're a platform for healthcare, very focused on dentistry right now because that's my background. My dad is a practicing dentist. He's been doing it for almost 35 years. I myself graduated from university, got accepted into dental school before going to work in corporate America for 15 months, and then pivoted into being a founder CEO.
Totally
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about Prahsys and tell me about the two main products that you have.
Yeah, so we have our core payments product. That was the first product that we developed. That actually was predicated on my experience working in my dad's practice. We, like many practices, had so many different payment processors that we were working with just to process revenue in the practice.
Yeah.
And as you may be aware, the fraud and embezzlement rate within dentistry is astronomically high. It's actually 7 out of every 10 dentists are at risk for fraud and embezzlement. And that's because of the current technology stacks that are available to them. So we developed a product that consolidates all of the revenue processing needs of a practice into a single platform. So that's the first product. The second product is our proprietary X-ray AI product. We call it Prognosix. And yes, that is an X on the word prognosis. I hope people can see that. But what we invented was a proprietary image segmentation pipeline. It's a computer vision AI that has the highest accuracy for the mapping of patient anatomy and morphology within tooth structures. So we're super proud of that. Developing AI is incredibly difficult. We had to recruit the head of AI from the Bill Gates Foundation in order to actually pull this off. And so there's a lot of technical brains behind this. To give you some perspective, actually, the AI is actually a product that we acquired from my dad. He saw the need in his own practice and went looking for AI technology for CBCTs, and it didn't exist. So as a practitioner, he actually created it himself. And a few years later, we ended up acquiring it from him in 2025 on behalf of Prahsys. We've since taken it, gotten it patented both nationally here in the U.S. and at the Foreign Patent Office. It's currently patent pending, and it's currently going through the FDA 510(k) clearance process. I love sharing this story with people because when we think about like the needs of our users, there's so much technology in dental that's created by people who've never worked in a dental practice.
Right. That's
It
right.
blows my mind. So for Dr. Bonin to take 8,000 of his own patient x-rays and to annotate them on his own time and dime, like is amazing to me. We took that product, we with our head of AI engineering created something entirely new. And actually our latest model, what we call V3, was created on 90,000 patient x-rays, to give you some perspective.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It is a really cool product. I've
Yeah.
seen it. Also, so I know we're gonna dive into the hire me part of the series, which is like the interview process. And I know I sent you guys Yelisa Fernandez, which by the way,
Yes.
she loves your product. She raves about it. She uses it herself. And that's when you know a product is good, right? Like one
Yeah.
thing pitching and saying how good your product is, but then you have doctors who are actually out there using your product. When they say it's good and they actually use it, then it's completely different. It's a completely different
Yeah.
story. But she is now an advisor for you guys, right?
That's right.
So what I want to know is, a lot of our audience is in clinical. There are doctors like Dr. Fernandez, they want to be advisors. You have people like me, dental hygienists, that want to be in maybe sales or customer success roles, dental assistants, maybe office managers that may potentially be working in the claims side of things. What are things that you look for when you've hired? Because I know you've had multiple companies, so this is not like your first rodeo. I know you've had
Yeah,
a lot of experience. You said a decade, right? Over a decade doing this.
almost a decade. Yeah.
So, what, from your experience, what is it that you look for personally? I know every company is going to be different. Everybody looks for something different, and everybody's experience is different. But what do you look for in an individual, staying away from the technical part of it? Obviously, like when you look for engineers, that's completely different. But how about
Yeah.
someone who has dental experience that you're trying to hire? What is that you look for?
Yeah. So the startup environment requires a unique set of skills and characteristics from all the individuals that make up the makeup of the organization. For our dental clinicians specifically, we look for people who are self-starting and interested in working in on the cutting edge of dental technology. And so the work that we do, the work that I think any startup normally does, that is breaking the flow of dentistry, something that's totally new. It's unknown. It is difficult, and as you know, startups, I would say 95% of what we do, like we fail along the way as we do it until we actually get it right. It's kind of the nature of the business. And
Mhm.
so finding somebody who is willing to deal with the frustrations of things breaking and having to figure out what's wrong, is really important. Um, and so for dental clinicians specifically, we want somebody who's really willing to do the work that is required to actually make a product successful. And not every clinician fits that, and that's okay. You have people who are early adopters of technology, and then you have people who are late adopters of technology. What we find is that the people who are willing to be early adopters are oftentimes the people who are willing to tolerate the most frustration with newer products.
That's right. Do you have, from your experience, do you remember any, like, I don't want to say bad interviews because I feel like I know I've had my fair share of bad interviews, and that's one of the reasons why I want to do this so that I can give the opportunity to have some type of information out there about these companies. But can you think of anything that could have gone better for someone who interviewed with you, and you were just like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that was great," but we, at least now we can learn from it and we can grow from it.
Yeah, I'll say this. The most determinant factor for whether or not somebody gets hired at Process is, do they have the right skill set and do they fit our culture? Those things, like I meet lots of qualified people that I would never hire, just to be real with you. And the reason behind that is because as our business continues to grow and scale, we want to make sure that the experience that we're delivering to our customers is based on the experience that we're actually having inside of the organization. You hear oftentimes of companies who have terrible corporate cultures, and that ultimately bleeds out on your customers. And so we're very particular about who we hire. We want people who feel just as strongly as we do about faith, about the patient standard of care and elevating it, about being willing to do things differently, even if it doesn't feel right at the first glance. Um, and yeah, I have certainly interviewed my fair share of people who could have had better interviews.
I want to touch upon something that I don't even know how to bring up, but I'm going to bring it up anyways because I think I was really amazed at how not only you guys approached it, but how it was handled and how the employee actually turned around and did so much better. Um, there was there was a point in time where I gave you guys some feedback on one individual, and I didn't know how to tell you, but the reason why I do that is because I genuinely love you guys, and I try my best to give feedback to any company. because at the end of the day, they're representing you, your
That's
company,
right.
and like you said, it's your customers too, right? So in this incident, and I don't remember the exact details, but I remember going up to you like, hey, by the way, this is what happened, just letting you know, I don't know. And you had a very difficult conversation. Like, I don't know what you said or how you said it, but this person came back, which I was like, oh, he told him, but he came around and said, thank you so much. I mean, he took it like a champ. And let me tell you, he's been, from what I see from the outside, he is so like Prahsys. He's just like, he has a banner up. He loves your company. And he is, from what I can see, like a really good employee. Tell me how that conversation went. And I guess the learning from it is like taking feedback well.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
everybody,
yeah. Let me start by saying that starts at the top. Nobody in our organization is above constructive criticism, including myself.
yeah,
We take that pretty seriously here, ultimately because our philosophy is we want to be the best. If you go look at my LinkedIn, it says at the top, pursue excellence, be the best.
I saw that.
And we do not deceive ourselves by believing that we have arrived where we need to go. We're in a constant state of growth, and I think that is our advantage over other organizations. Is we're willing to admit when we're wrong and to grow from that. And so it's been really cool to see how that bleeds through the entire organization. I
Yeah.
meet with my team every week, and we get direct feedback. Like I ask for direct feedback from employees for me, and
Yeah.
sometimes it sucks to hear what they have to say. But
It's
you
not,
know what? We've created an environment where they can say it, and because of that, we can fix any of the outstanding issues instead of them prolonging. There's this pattern that happens where issues like employees feel like they can't voice a concern, and then that results in bitterness, ultimately leading to resentment. And then
yeah.
you're stuck in this toxic work environment which ultimately hinders productivity. And so I think that as much as we want for it to just be business,
Yeah.
uh, anytime that people are part of the equation, it's impossible. There is a human factor, human element where we actually have to take care of the emotional well-being of our employees, and sometimes that looks like admitting that you're wrong, and being willing to apologize and correct going forward.
And you know what? I love him more for that.
Yeah,
Um, I actually got to hang around with him in another event that we were there together, and it was just, I love that he took feedback so well, and he actually turned that around to make himself even better. I mean, that's essentially what you should be doing, right? You want to
yeah.
improve, be better for not only yourself but for the company you're working for. Any tips? Any tips that you might have that you think would be beneficial for anyone trying to land some customer success roles, or maybe like Dr. Fernandez, maybe advisory roles?
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of view I view the different roles within a dental practice, connected with different opportunities. So your dental clinician is going to have different opportunities than your hygienist, right?
Oh yeah.
And so, like for the dentist, I would say, if you're aspiring to be a KOL for a company, the very first thing that you have to do is you have to become a contributor. You have value inherently as a human, and then you have value because of the skill that you have as a dentist. But that does not directly translate into you being that value being recognized by a corporation to say that's the person we want on our team.
Yeah.
And so, like our dentists who are helping us with our FDA study, as an example, all of those people who are participating are going to have great opportunities because of they are actually worked on the project. Once we get FDA clearance, you're going to see that each of those dentists will become in high demand because of their association, their support, their help. and contributions to the development of our tool. And then for dental hygienists, the opportunities that lie there is you're actually touching more patients than a dentist is, like way more patients. Your dentist is hopefully spending most of their time in the production chair, so
Yeah.
seeing fewer patients but doing higher revenue. But your opportunity there is to really focus on self branding. You know, how do you how do you create a connection with your patient that is so strong that then when they think about going to the dentist, that they think about seeing you? I've actually witnessed this in my dad's practice so many times before. We've had some really great hygienists who have really established themselves within the practice.
Yeah.
And the relationship with the doctor is important, but the relationship with the hygienist, and in my opinion, is just as important because they're having a lot more touches with the patients. And so how that translates is you have the opportunity to choose which tools or consumables that you're using within your operatory, and you can build really strong brand relationships with certain manufacturers that can ultimately result in you becoming a KOL. And so, if I were a hygienist, that's what I'd be focusing on. Like, what is the best care that I can bring for my patients, and then incorporating those tools into my workflow, making videos, with patient consent, and just getting that content out there because of people. People watch it. I want to say this: not all dentistry is equal. We like to think that it is, but the reason it's called practicing is because of the care that you receive at one dentist can be leaps and bounds better than care that you receive at another dentist.
100%. Well, thank you so much. I am so grateful for your support always. And I'm going to leave all of your information. I want to leave all of the company's information too. And once I post this, it'll be for you guys to look and see and follow along. And if you guys are interested in any opportunities, just follow their page and follow their story. They're an amazing company. Thank you
Yeah,
again.
I'll add one more thing here.
Go ahead.
So we are beginning to recruit more dentists for the next set of features that will be rolling out in Prognostics. So if any of your listeners are interested in getting an opportunity to become a contributor to work on the cutting edge of X-ray AI imaging, where we will begin looking for more of those dentists in September to join our team and to help develop further into the future.
Do you guys have, before we end this, do you guys have sales, or is it brand ambassadors? What is it
We
that,
do,
or
yeah, we do. We have two different opportunities. We have brand ambassadors. That's one
okay,
opportunity, and then we also have independent sales roles for our payments product. So people can, if you want to work with us and it not being a full time capacity, you can always join the team there.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I envisioned. Thank you.
awesome. Thank you so much, Maria.